Good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss about a new topic, that is biomolecules. So the word itself indicates that bio is nothing but a life. The molecules which are helpful for the life or living system is called as biomolecules. So the most important characteristic of living system is it shows growth, it sustains the life, and it also reproduces itself. So these are the few important characteristics of the living system. The most interesting part is so the life or the living system is made up of. The living system is made up of non-living atoms and elements. Non-living atoms and molecules. So the most important characteristics of living system we had seen, that is it is growth and it sustains the life and it reproduces itself. But the living system is made up of non-living atoms and molecules. So this non-living atoms and molecules are nothing but which are responsible for the life or the living system, and those non-living atoms and molecules are called as biomolecules. The non-living atoms or molecules which are responsible for the life in the living system are called as biomolecules. Some important biomolecules are, so we shall discuss those some important biomolecules. Some important biomolecules are carbohydrates, enzymes, proteins, nucleic acids, etc. And few others are also there, that is which carries and stores energy. The biomolecules which are responsible for storage and transforming exchange of energy, and those biomolecules are nothing but it is responsible for storage and exchange of energy. Those biomolecules are called as ATP, that is storage and exchange of energy. So those are nothing but ATP. Likewise, we have a few other biomolecules, that is vitamins and minerals are responsible for the functioning of organisms. It also plays an important role in functioning of organisms. So these are the few important biomolecules: carbohydrates, enzymes, proteins, nucleic acids. So this is also a biomolecule which is responsible for exchange and storage of energy. These are few which helps in the functioning of organisms. So in that, the most important one we are going to discuss now, that is carbohydrates. So what are these carbohydrates and how it has been classified? We shall discuss that one. So before moving to the carbohydrates, we shall conclude the definition of biomolecules. That is, biomolecules It is defined as complex lifeless chemical substances which form the basis of life. That is, they not only build up the living systems but are also responsible for their growth, maintenance, and their ability to reproduce. So this is very, very important. That is, biomolecules are defined as lifeless chemical substances, so which are helpful in growth, maintenance, and their ability to reproduce. So now we'll take up a very important part of biomolecules, that is carbohydrate. So we shall discuss in detail what is this carbohydrate and how it has been classified and how it is playing a very important role in the growth, maintenance, and reproduction of the living system. The important part of biomolecules, that is carbohydrates, we are going to discuss. So carbohydrates are nothing but, so generally it has been said that, so it is the hydrates of carbon, or it has been defined in the earlier as hydrates of carbon. Hydrates of carbon with a general formula. We have a general formula for that. So that general formula is CxH2O. Hydrates is nothing but H2O molecule. So that is X and Y may be equal, may not be equal. So this is what the old definition of carbohydrates is nothing but hydrates of carbon, or we can say that, so it is an class of compounds containing carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but hydrogen and oxygen is present in the same ratio as in water. So it is the class of compounds. Carbohydrates are the class of compounds containing carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but hydrogen and oxygen are present in the ratio of water, as in the ratio of water. So it is present in the compound with a general formula CxH2OY. So, but it was an old definition. Later, as the more and more chemicals have been manufactured, or it has been prepared in the laboratory, so we have come across with a few other substances also. So what is it? We shall see that one. So that is one is acetic acid. All these things are nothing but, so old definition whatever we have discussed now, so that is not according to the proper way which has been conveyed. So that is nothing but it is the limitations of the old definition. So we shall discuss that one. Limitations of the old definition of carbohydrates. That is, we have an example of, so this is one of the limitation. Acetic acid, CH3COOH, it is an acetic acid. It can also be written as C2H2O twice. C2H2O twice. So acetic acid, this formula can be written in this form also. If you check this one, it is exactly matching the general formula of carbohydrate. But acetic acid is not an carbohydrate. It is not an carbohydrate. But still it is matching with that particular general formula. Like that we have one more. So that is HCHO formaldehyde. That can also be written as CH2O. CH2O. So here also same thing. It is matching the exactly this general formula, but it is not an carbohydrate. So this is one of the limitations. Second thing is we have a compound named as rhamnose. Compound named as rhamnose. Its formula is C6H12O5. Likewise, we have one more compound as deoxyribose. Deoxyribose, and its formula is C5H10O4. So the same thing here also. So it is it doesn't matches the general formula of carbohydrate, but these two are carbohydrates. That is whatever the chemical reactions which have been shown by carbohydrates are there, both these compounds are going to satisfy those reactions. But these are matching the general formula, but they are not carbohydrates. These formula is not matching, but they satisfy all the properties of carbohydrates. So one more important thing or important point here is carbon is not known to form hydrates. So we have studied the characteristics of carbon. So it is not known to form the hydrates. Carbon doesn't forms any hydrates there. That is nothing but, so whatever the definition we have written, that is hydrates of carbon, whatever we have written, it is not the perfect definition of carbohydrates. So this hydrates of carbon, it is the old definition of carbohydrates, which is not matching with the properties of carbohydrates. So that's why we are going to move to a new definition, that is modern definition. Modern definition of carbohydrates are, so carbohydrates are defined as optically active polyhydroxy aldehydes or polyhydroxy ketones. Or substances which give these on hydrolysis. So that is nothing but polyhydroxy. When you consider polyhydroxy is nothing but it consists of many OH groups. So carbohydrates are defined as optically active. We know that. So optically active substances are nothing but, so the optically active substances means the substance which rotate the plane polarized light either to the right side or to the left side. So carbohydrates are such substances which rotates the plane polarized light either towards right side or towards left side. So that is about optically active. Polyhydroxy is nothing but consisting of many, poly means many OH groups. And along with that OH groups, it also consists of aldehydic group. What is that aldehydic group? Aldehydic group is nothing but CHO group. It also consists of CHO group, or it may consist of polyhydroxy ketones. Polyhydroxy, once again the same thing, many OH groups. Poly is many OH groups. Along with that OH groups, it also consists of ketonic groups. So this is our ketonic group. It also consists of ketonic groups. or the substances which gives these on hydrolysis, or any substances which on hydrolysis. What is hydrolysis? Addition of water. Upon addition of water, it gives polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketonic compound. Then those substances are called as carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are optically active. Very important statement, because entire thing lies in this only. So carbohydrates are defined as optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones, or substances which give these on hydrolysis. So hydrolysis is nothing but addition of water. When you add water to the substance, if that gives polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketonic compound, then it is called as carbohydrate. That substance is itself called as carbohydrate. Next we'll move on to the next topic, that is classification. Classification of carbohydrates. So many ways of classifying carbohydrates. It is classified based upon the number of particles or number of carbon atoms present in it. So what classification of carbohydrates? Monosaccharides, it has been classified as monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. So basically these carbohydrates are also called as saccharides. Why this has been called as saccharides is saccharon means sugar. So basically whatever the carbohydrates we usually know, all those carbohydrates are sweet in taste. So that's why it has been called as saccharides or saccharon. So they are also called as also known as saccharides. Saccharides because in Greek saccharon means sugar. Okay, so this is about one important thing. So next is we are going to move on to the we'll move on to the classification. So the classification is depending upon the behavior towards the hydrolysis, main thing, because monosaccharides, it comes under the number of carbon atoms, but the remaining whatever the things we are going to discuss, it is mainly dependent on hydrolysis. So the three classification we have done. So these three classes depending upon their behavior towards hydrolysis. Upon hydrolysis, what is going to happen? So based upon that, it has been classified. Okay, based upon hydrolysis. So hydrolysis is very, very important. Based upon the hydrolysis, it has been classified under three categories. Which are those categories we shall see? First one is monosaccharides. So monosaccharides are the simplest carbohydrates which cannot be hydrolyzed to smaller molecules. That is nothing but if you add further if you do further hydrolysis, which cannot be converted into other particles. That is, it is the simplest form. So that is we can write it simplest carbohydrates simplest carbohydrates which cannot be further hydrolyzed, which cannot be further hydrolyzed. Which cannot be further hydrolyzed. So the general formula for this. So we have a general formula. The general formula is CH2O, where N is equals to 327. So number of carbon atoms will be 3 is the minimum, simplest one. So it may be extending until 7. So that is if at all, if the carbohydrate consisting of 3 to 7 carbon atoms, then it is being considered as the monosaccharide, and it is the simplest carbohydrate which cannot be further hydrolyzed. That is the simplest form. You cannot further hydrolyze that one. So the next part we are going to, that is oligosaccharides. So you can make out saccharides. Saccharides are nothing but it can also be called as carbohydrates. Saccharides are nothing but carbohydrates, where saccharides also means sugar. So in the initial days, whatever the carbohydrates were known to them, they were sweet in taste. So that's why they mentioned as saccharides here. Next, so oligo in Greek. In Greek, oligo means few. It is an based upon the number of hydrolysis product. So when you have taken a substance, to that you have added some water to it, or we are doing some hydrolysis to that one. If it gives two carbohydrates, or if it gives two monosaccharides are the simple one. So what we are doing, we have taken an substance, we have taken an carbohydrate, we have taken, this is, let us consider, this is an carbohydrate, and we are doing hydrolysis to it. Then if at all, if it is hydrolyzed, if it gives two monosaccharides, two smaller units, then it is being called as, then this substance or this carbohydrate is being called as a disaccharides. Okay, next, same thing, we are doing some hydrolysis. We got 3 monosaccharide units, 3 smaller carbohydratic units, 3 monosaccharides we got upon hydrolysis. Then it is being called as a trisaccharides. I hope you understood. So the substance or the carbohydrate we have taken, we are doing hydrolysis. If we got, the substance is being broken upon hydrolysis, it is being broken to form 2 monosaccharide units, then the substance is called as disaccharides, or the carbohydrate is being called as disaccharide. Suppose if like that only, the substance we have taken, we have done the hydrolysis, and the substance has been broken into 3 monosaccharides units, then the substance is called as trisaccharides. Likewise, if at all, if it is being converted into 4 monosaccharide units, then the substance is called as tetrasaccharides. So here, like this only pentasaccharides we have. So it will be ranging from, or oligosaccharides are nothing but the substances upon hydrolysis. So it will give 2 to 10 10 monosaccharide units, then the substances in general called as oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides. So oligosaccharides are the substances upon hydrolysis. If it gives 2 to 10 monosaccharide units, then those substances are in general it has been called as oligosaccharides. So in that oligosaccharides we have classification again: disaccharides, trisaccharides and tetrasaccharides. All this happens only if the substance is undergoing hydrolysis. So upon hydrolysis, if it gives 2 monosaccharide units, then it is disaccharides. If it is 3 monosaccharides, then it is trisaccharide. If it is 4 monosaccharides, then it is tetra. If it is 5, then it is pentasaccharide, like that. So if in general, the definition, if at all, if you are checking, then oligosaccharides are the substances upon hydrolysis. If it gives 2 to 10 monosaccharide units, then this substances are called as oligosaccharides. So depending upon the number of monosaccharide units or monosaccharide molecules, it has been further classified as disaccharide, trisaccharide, tetra, penta, hexa and all. Polysaccharides, next third part, third classification. We know poly means many. So upon hydrolysis, carbohydrates, which upon hydrolysis give a large number of monosaccharides. Molecules. So it also has a general formula here, so that the general formula we can see that one. So general formula is C6H10O5 and N. N will be ranging from 100 to 300. So that is nothing but this is the simplest form. So 100 such simplest form will be joined to one another to form a polysaccharide. So what we are doing, so such 100 big chain, 100 molecules of such big chain, upon hydrolysis we are breaking them and we are converting them as such a smaller 100 particles, and that is nothing but polysaccharide. That compound is nothing but it is polysaccharide. I hope it is clear. So 100 molecules of such 100 such smaller particles being joined to one another to form a big larger polysaccharide chain. That polysaccharide chain upon hydrolysis we are breaking into 100 simple molecules. This is the simple molecule. 100 simple molecules. So that substance upon hydrolysis which gives 100 such simple molecules are nothing but polysaccharides. So we have few examples also. The most commonly heard things are starch, likewise cellulose, glycogen, These are the most common polysaccharides.